Alright, to attach the motherboard to the case, you want to there's 6 screws, 2 above or to the right of the processor in this picture, and 4 to the left. So you just want to screw those. It'll line up with the case perfectly if you're ever changing it. So you just want to put those screws back in to the 6 holes that there are, and that should secure it firmly so the motherboard doesn't move while the computer's on. This computer came with a processor already installed. However, if you want to change the processor at any time, such as upgrading it, you could simply open up the computer, lift up on this metal latch circled right here, and then the processor would become reachable, and while making sure you're grounded, such as touching metal, so that you don't shock the processor, you can pick it up and exchange it for a new one, but you have to make sure that the ports on the bottom of the processor are attached the right way to the motherboard. It should so it lines up right, and then when it's in place you simply push the metal case back over it, and to make sure right here that it slides under this screw that's circled right here, and then just put the metal lifting clasp back under its lock, and that should be it. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is put in the processor fan, which is right here, and basically I'm just going to push it down to make sure it's lined up well with the holes, and then push in one by one. Make sure it's tight. I'm going to plug it in over here to the fan power supply on the motherboard, and there we go. Fan's on. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is install the memory, which I have right here. These are 2 4GB DDR3 memory chips. The DDR3 is a type of memory that this motherboard requires, so that's why we're using it. So I'm just going to take it out of this box right here. Put this one to the side. You can see it goes right here, in one of these 4 slots. So as we're only using 2, you can add more later if you want. So you're just gonna want to unhook these 2 white things right here, and make sure it's lined up, which it's not. I'm just gonna push it in to lock itself into place. Do this with the other one. Take it. Push it in. Just lock it into place. There we go. And the RAM's in. So now I'm going to plug in the power supply for the motherboard, which is first one is this big one right here. This goes over here into this port on the side. So I'm just going to push this in. Make sure it gets on there. And then there's one more over here, which goes right here. It's just a little 4-port one. And here, click, it's in. Motherboard has power. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is install the CD-ROM drive. I have the boxes right here. It's an Asus 24-speed SATA drive. You can see that. Okay. Then we have the box right here. Here it is. So I'm going to, as you can see, SATA connections in the back right here. The connections right here, and this is for the power over here. So this is pretty simple. We're just going to slide it into the front here. The front of the case. Put it in where your CD-ROM drive would be, and push it back to where you can still reach it. And you can see the screws through the holes over here. And then you're just going to screw it in, and it's in. Okay, so I have the screws in now. It's nice and firm, like it's set in its place. So now I'm going to do is hook up the power, which is right here. As you can see, it's from the power supply. This is a SATA drive power connection. So I'm just going to plug that in right here in the back of the CD-ROM drive. Here it's in. Okay, so that's in. Now I'm going to plug it into the motherboard with this SATA cable right here. You can see the whole thing. So it goes in the back of the drive, like so. Plug it in, and then there's 5 SATA connections right here to the motherboard. So you can just plug it into one of them, and it's in. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is install the hard drive, which I have here. It's a 2 terabyte high speed, which is 6 gigabytes per second hard drive. It's still in its static shield case, so I'm going to take this off. There we go. Be careful with it. I'm going to slide it out. Again, this is also a SATA drive, so it'll use the same plug as the CD-ROM, one of the same plugs, except it's faster, so I'll explain that in a bit. So it's going to go in over here. Take one of these black pieces off. Actually, I'm going to use this other one so it grabs in the way. Let's try this thing. There we go. Now we just put this thing on, it should fit. There we go. Push it in. It should lock on. There we go. It's not moving. And then now I'm going to get the power, which is daisy chained from the CD-ROM drive. So I'm just going to plug that in down here, the back of it. Alright, so that's in. And now I'm going to plug in the SATA cable, which I have over here. Right here. Goes right in the back, right above the power cable. And I'm actually putting it in one of these blue SATA connections to the motherboard because they're the higher speed ones, which is this hard drive can handle. And higher speed is always good. Computers. Alright, so we have the hard drive in. Alright, so now that we have everything in, I'm just going to plug in all the smaller wires that are everywhere. And I'm going to start with the rear fan right here. This is its plug. it should plug in right here. If you can see it, it says on the motherboard rear fan. So I'm just going to plug that in. It's a 3-prong plug. Okay, so that's in. Move on to this. This is a USB plug. It goes to, there are USB plugs on the other side of the case on the front. So that's why they connect over here. So this connects, it should connect the pure USB. Okay, right here. You plug this into USB 1. So there's 4 of these. So it should go, if you line the pins up properly, it should go in like this. Turn this in all the way. There we go. And now I'm going to plug in the This is the front speaker, I think. It's the audio. So this will go right here. I'll plug this in right here. And there we go. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is plug in all these smaller cables, which it's kind of blocked by the CD-ROM drive, so not the hard drive. So I'm just going to plug these in. You won't be able to see it, but they'll be going in right over here. Alright, so now everything in the motherboard is in and working. So we're going to put all these cables back into the case. Just kind of put them there. Make sure they're not obstructing anything important. Just fans. And we're going to put the case cover back on, which I put over here. Here we go. So, right like this. And should do the trick. There we go. And it's on.